Hey guys, welcome to Coffee Combos.
Good morning.
Good morning.
That just made me so happy.
Lindsie's favorite thing is when I sing the intro.
It is.
We gotta get some auto-tune.
I feel like Kail should go on like American Idol and
don't
like go to the
me.
tryouts and stuff.
No, I should never do
you
that.
remember, like, whenever Kail sings, I think of like way long time ago, She Bang. Do you remember that?
Yes.
She bang, she
What
bang.
was his name?
She move, she move.
What was his name?
I don't know. He was a little Asian guy.
Yeah.
And I used to watch
But he had a whole album come out.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Like, he went viral for a minute. If there was social media back then, like, he would have went viral.
At that point, I realized how much TV really are assholes.
Yeah.
Because they
made
should
an ass
have
out of
never
him.
allowed him to, like, just like they should never allow you to, like, get past. They should never give you the golden ticket to Hollywood.
I shouldn't ever make it to Hollywood. But here we are in Hollywood, so.
Yeah, we're here. We're out here.
How
guys.
was your trip? Did you enjoy yourself?
I very much enjoyed myself. Being roommates with you
It's
every
always a
6
pleasure.
weeks is always a pleasure.
I mean, I leave you alone. Our stuff is separate. Mm-hmm. So.
Yeah. All of our stuff is separate.
Right.
Kail, one thing that bothers me about you, though, I'm not going to lie, is when you get into the snacks, like, I feel like...
I did not know where you're going with this.
When you get into the snacks, you, like, might leave them open.
That is not true. At 1:30 in the morning, I put those snacks away. Like, I tucked that bag up, rolled it, and stuck it away.
No, I saw you getting donuts yesterday. And
I ate them all, so they were done.
Oh, okay.
Actually, I hope my CrossFit coach isn't listening to this. She texted me this morning, was like, have you been sweating? I'm like, mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sweating as I'm putting the donut in my mouth.
Actually got really, really bad Thai food yesterday. It was so bad.
So
I didn't eat it.
You got the Thai food when Corrine and I went to the Mexican place.
And then...
I'm telling you, Kail, you really missed out. And I mean, I'm not just trying to, like, guilt trip you and stuff, but... You really missed out. The food was amazing. Probably best cheese quesadilla that I've ever had. But, like, how can you really mess up a cheese quesadilla?
That's like a grilled cheese.
You know, like, you can't really mess it up. But the guacamole and the salsa and sour cream, amazing.
See, I just, like, took my pants off by, like, 7:30. And so it was, like, it's a wrap for me.
I'm just, like... kind of in a different headspace, I feel like, you know, to be perfectly honest.
I feel like maybe
all day.
Yep, and we don't have the kids here, so it's like, okay, maybe let me go de-stress somewhere.
Yeah, and just like have fun and have like an adult conversation because I don't really have those too often.
I'll do that next time.
You always say next time.
I do.
But then it's never next time.
Because I save all my energy. This is my theory, right? So like all my off days with the kids and like I save all my energy for like vacation.
So, like, you live
This
the
is
vacation.
a work trip, so I'm going to go to sleep.
Oh, see, I don't feel like that. I feel like I enjoy what we do so much that it's just like, oh, wow, it's like work, but like not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So then I'm just kind of like on vacation.
Right, okay. Fair enough. I didn't appreciate you... waiting until you were home to send me your location last night. I woke up, I fell asleep, and I woke up and you were still not home, and it was like 12:30. I was like, I need to find out where she's at. Like, I'm getting nervous. I haven't heard from you. It's not like you've been texting me.
I was literally at a Mexican place drinking cucumber martinis. Like, I don't see what the problem is.
It wasn't a problem. I just needed to know where you were at. So that
No. So I told Kail to wait up. In all fairness, I told her to wait up, and I'm like, we're literally 4 minutes away.
At 4 minutes.
Then Kail put on her stopwatch, and it was like 4 minutes past.
No, they would turn into like 30 minutes.
It was like 4 minutes past.
It was like 30.
And then I got another text from Kail, and I was like, ooh, yikes.
Mama Kail doesn't play.
Yeah. And so Kareen was the one who told me that it was 4 minutes away. So when we started walking, I started freaking out. And I was like, ooh, I told Kail it was 4 minutes, and my GPS now says 31. It's bad. Like, it's bad news.
I just wanted to make sure that you guys were good, and I didn't want to, like, text you to make sure you were good, and then something happens between the time I texted you and the time you get home.
Right.
There are serial killers out there.
There are. There truly are. And there are tons of homeless population where we're staying.
Well, I don't think they're going to hurt you.
I know. Like, they're literally harmless.
Right.
There's just, like, a lot of... I get so much anxiety, like, of the unknown. Even when I'm passing somebody, I know that they're probably not going to hurt me.
But you think they're going to hurt you.
But I literally told Kareen when she was sending me in the wrong direction last night on her maps, I was like, Corrine, I literally have not passed that street and I'm about to call 911. If I do not see Washington on the next block that I walk, I'm calling 911. And she was like, what are you calling 911 for?
Like, what are you going to even say?
But they'll just come because it'll be an emergency because I don't know where I'm at. And I'm in a
Had
lost
you
place.
sent me your location like I asked?
No.
I could have picked you up.
Because I told you it was 4 minutes, and I was like, I'm just going to keep riding this out. Maybe she'll forget it wasn't 4 minutes.
Maybe I'll fall back to sleep.
Yeah. And then, so I realized that Kareen, when she clicked Uber Pool. So... we were having to go to a meetup location. And I was like, Kareen, I've used Uber so many times, and I have never had to, like, go and find Uber. Like, ever. Like, that's not a thing. Like,
right.
You put in Uber, and they find you,
What
right?
is the difference between regular Uber and then Uber Pool?
Uber Pool is where you ride with a bunch of probably other drunk people.
And then you drop them off, like, one by one, like a bus stop?
Yeah, like a bus stop. And Kareen was making us find this bus stop. And I'm like, no, this is not right.
So did you cancel the Uber Pool?
She probably paid for it.
You got in it?
No, I put UberX on mine, and then they came in 2 seconds. And then I was like, why did I literally walk 5 miles? Because she Uber pooled and lied to me, and then told me not to call 911. And I was
you guys are so dramatic. I literally, you know what you guys could have done? Taken your pants off at 7:30 and got in the bed.
I was panicking, and then you said, send me your location, and I was like...
Send me your location. Have you heard that song?
No, Kail, but keep going.
It's by Khalid. Khalid?
Khalid.
I think it's Khalid.
DJ Khaled.
And then Khalid.
It is. Yeah.
No, but it's two different people.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
I'm in a different universe.
Right.
So then you said, send me your location. And I was like, oh my God. Like, what if I send this location and I'm like all the way across?
It would have been fine. I wouldn't have cared.
City.
But if it said 31 minutes away and you didn't get here for 2 hours, I would go find you, but I'd have your location. So it didn't matter the amount of time. Do you get what I'm saying?
What I did was I waited till the Uber pulled up and I was walking through the gate and I was like, ooh, now sounds like a good time to share my location. And then I was going to try to play it off like, oh, I sent it a long time ago, but...
I'm not mad about the amount of time.
So were you happy to see me whenever I got back?
Yeah, I was very happy to see you. I was just glad that you were okay. We made it back. Well, y'all made it back. And then I was hungry, so then...
Yeah, y'all were eating snacks.
Yeah. I didn't eat a donut last night.
No, because you ate them all earlier in the day.
Right.
But correct. Okay, let's talk about what's for dinner. This is a question every parent constantly gets asked, and thanks to HelloFresh, I have an answer. HelloFresh is an awesome service for people who want to eat home-cooked meals but don't have a lot of time, and that's pretty much everyone.
HelloFresh is a meal delivery service that shops, plans, and delivers step-by-step recipes and pre-measured ingredients so you can cook, eat, and enjoy. They have 3 plans to choose from: classic, veggie, and family. And each box is made up of fresh, responsibly obtained ingredients from carefully selected farms and high-rated, trusted sources.
Most recently, I ordered the hot honey chicken, which was a major plus in my house, and the meatloaf a la mom. The meatloaf. We love meatloaf in my house, and this was really a major hit for us. So, Kail, you will have to try the meatloaf.
I just love anything that gets my kids to eat and makes my life easier, so I'm always happy with that. I love trying new recipes, which are easy to make, and my family loves them.
So for $80 off your first month of HelloFresh, go to HelloFresh.com/coffeeconvos80 and enter coffeeconvos80. It's like receiving 8 meals for free.
Again, visit HelloFresh.com/coffeeconvos80 and enter coffeeconvos80. That's $80 off your first month of HelloFresh. Anyway, the trip's been great. We've got a lot of stuff done.
Yeah, I feel like we have...
Planning the next trip. I think we'll podcast from London next time.
I feel like that's so premature just to throw out there and be like, next time that we podcast, we're going to be in London, and then
After
people
that, we'll be in Hong Kong.
Then people realize that you're a liar.
Okay.
And you're not really podcasting from there.
I will.
Kind of really don't like to tell people things until it's official.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But I mean, that's just the name of my game. I don't know what you're into, you know? Anyhow, I was talking to Corrine last night because we were just having a girls' night, and then Kail's wanted to freaking text me about planners and stuff, and like
I've told you I'm in a different headspace. Like I feel like our roles have been reversed.
Yeah, definitely. I just feel like, you know what? If I want to go and have a cucumber martini and a quesadilla,
like don't text you about work.
And Kail's texting me about a frickin' planner. Like, what colors do you like? Probably, and I'm like, Kail, we're not talking about planners right now.
Okay,
like we're
enough.
Really not.
Fair enough.
I'm eating soaked martini cucumbers.
And
right
also
now.
Quesadillas.
And yes, also quesadillas. So we were just having like mom conversation and stuff. So I was like, she should come on the podcast tomorrow. So
great.
Here we are.
Here we are with Kareen.
And here she is.
Hello.
Hi, Kareen.
Hi.
The last time you were on the podcast was, what, 6-ish months ago?
Oh, it was like longer than that.
It was February of last year.
A year ago?
Yeah. I was 5 months pregnant. My son's 8 months now.
Yeah, she was pregnant, and
now that you say that, I remember.
Yeah, remember we were actually the last time she came on the podcast, we were staying at Embassy Suites while you were, and we all ordered like cheesecake and wings.
Yes,
remember? And she was like super pregnant and super hungry.
I do remember this. I think Leah was there too, right? Was Leah?
Yeah,
there?
Leah was there the same time, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I was like, who's Leah? Yes, and then your friend Dan the man.
Dan, not the man.
Dan, not the man.
She still lives, actually, her birthday was yesterday. She still lives in Georgia.
Yeah, no, I think she calls her Dan the man because I call her Dan the man.
Oh,
maybe that's why.
Not the man.
I love her, by the way.
I know, I do too. She's great.
She's the funniest.
She's so funny.
So just catch us up on your life.
Yeah.
Like what's
so
been
you had
going
a baby.
on.
It was a boy.
I had a baby. I had a hard pregnancy. After I came to visit, I was on. Basically, they don't do bed rest anymore, but I was having contractions. Like, whenever I would walk, I'd have contractions. They don't do bed rest anymore? No.
Why?
I don't know. I forgot what the reason was, but I had to get the McKenna shots every week to hold the baby in.
The progesterone?
Yes.
Yeah, I had those too.
Oh my gosh, it was awful.
They hurt.
Oh, wait,
so
is
bad.
that the ones that you, like, take in your butt?
Yeah, they put them in your butt cheek.
Yeah.
I had to get those too. And,
oh my gosh.
They're painful because that needle's thick because of it's like an oil almost.
And
like
it
a thick
stings
serum.
when they put the serum in.
Yeah.
It hurts so bad. So I feel like looking back now, I just was set up for failure in regards to like not having a happy delivery, pregnancy, everything.
So what was the delivery like? Why was that?
That was like the happiest moment of my life.
Really,
like was it... You have a daughter, too, so...
Well, it was completely different. So I had a natural birth with my daughter, and with my son, he was too big, so they had to do a C-section.
Okay.
And I thought that they were going to, like, put him on my chest, and, you know, they didn't. My husband held him for an hour, because I had some issues. I had a cyst they had to remove, and some other issues. So I didn't hold him for, like, 3 hours. So my husband held him, and I feel like he stole my bond.
Yeah, that would be really hard.
Yeah. So from the beginning, it was just completely different because I pictured it to be like the first, and it wasn't. And I didn't really feel connected to him. I feel so bad saying that.
No, but I think that's more common than people talk about.
Yeah. I didn't talk to anyone about it. I started getting really bad anxiety, and sorry, I might start crying.
That's okay.
Don't cry.
I didn't feel a connection with Isaac right away.
Oh, really?
No.
See,
really?
with my daughter,
you
it
never
was
told
like,
me that.
I didn't cry when he was born.
Like, tell me the experience.
I think I was just so tired. And people, like, there was 13 people in the delivery room.
Oh, wow.
So it was like camera crews and family and friends and all the nurses. And it was just so draining. And then, like, I couldn't nurse the way that I wanted to. And I didn't even deliver at the hospital that I wanted to. So by the time we were getting ready to, nobody stayed in the hospital with me at all. Like I was from the time I gave birth up until we went home, and he was super jaundiced. So like that was like an extra thing. And then they told me his skull was going to be fused together prematurely, and then that was going to be an issue. Like there were so many things.
Yeah.
And so by time Joe's mom picked me up from the hospital to take me home. She was like, are you ready to go home? And I was like, no, because I wouldn't have the nurses to help me. Mm-hmm. So I was so just like disconnected.
Okay.
I felt the same exact way. I was so exhausted.
Mm-hmm. And that right there alone, it can be.
First of all, I couldn't breastfeed. I wasn't getting enough milk. So then, you feel like shit as a mom. Like, I can't feed my new baby. And then, so the baby wasn't sleeping. And I literally stayed up for 2 days straight. I didn't sleep. And then my sister came and stayed. And she's like, I got the baby. Fall asleep. Do whatever you got to do. Like, you need to get some rest. So I fell asleep, but I would wake up like I couldn't breathe. And I would be gasping for air, and the nurse came in, and she, like, flipped out. Like, are you okay? I'm like, where am I? I had no idea where I was. So every time I fell asleep for a week, it was like that.
That's so weird. Did they say what it was caused from?
I knew that I was just I was beyond exhausted.
Like, delirious. Almost.
Yeah. They thought that it was from the meds, so they stopped giving me medication, which sucked because I was in so much pain.
Oh, wow. Because you had a C-section.
Yeah. So that's
why
the other
were you guys
thing.
so tired? Like, I never felt tired.
Because the baby was so big, I wasn't sleeping at all.
See, and you know what? I think back to that, and I'm like, why was I so tired? Because with Lincoln and Lux, I was a champ. Like, it was great. I never, like, my favorite part of everything was labor and delivery.
Right.
So I don't know if it was just because I was young, or if it was the in and out, or I don't really know. Like, I was so tired. It felt like the first 6 to 8 weeks, I would sleep on the floor in Isaac's nursery. Like, I could not.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I did the same thing.
I couldn't. And then Joe's dad had to come up and talk to me and be like, you need to leave this room.
Oh my gosh. So you think you definitely experienced postpartum?
To some degree. I mean, I got over it, and I didn't need medication. I didn't see anybody. I'm not saying that anyone should ever do that, but
no, because it gets worse.
It's like
and that's what
is
happened
2020.
to
so
me.
like now I'm like, okay, that probably was some degree of postpartum, and then I just like.
I think a lot of women, whenever they're like going through it, don't realize that
it is
postpartum.
Right, because I didn't experience any of that with Lincoln or Lux.
Let's take a minute to talk about self-care. I think especially for women, we're often so busy taking care of other people that we forget to take care of ourselves.
That's one of the reasons why we wanted to talk about BetterHelp, which is an online counseling service where you can talk to a counselor from the comfort of your own home or wherever you happen to be. BetterHelp lets you get help on your own time at your own pace. I know a lot of people are intimidated at the thought of therapy, and it can be super important in becoming the best version of yourself.
They have counselors to choose from who specialize in grief, sleep, self-esteem, stress, depression, and tons more. You can communicate with your counselor via text, phone, video, or chat, whatever you're most comfortable with.
And the best of all is that it's truly affordable. So Coffee Combos listeners get 10% off your first month with discount code COFFEE. So why not get started today? Go to betterhelp.com/coffee. Simply fill out a questionnaire to help them assess your needs and get matched with a counselor you'll love. That's betterhelp.com/coffee.
My husband told me, because I love what I do, obviously, and I kept trying to push my schedule back, and my husband's like, I think you need to go talk to a doctor. Like, normally you're all about working. And then he said that, I was like, yeah, you're right. And so I went and saw my primary care doctor, and you have to fill out those questionnaires, like on a scale from 1 to 10, have you thought about committing suicide? And everybody lies on that. And I wasn't going to circle yes because I don't want my baby to be taken away. But in the...
Oh, wow. Yeah, I guess I didn't think about that.
In the room, I started hysterically crying. Like, I couldn't breathe. And so she gave me some Xanax and Zoloft and told me that I had postpartum anxiety.
So are they different?
Yeah. Anxiety is like overly, you feel so overwhelmed no matter what. Like your plate is full, you feel like your schedule's full and you can't pull yourself out of it. Like you're always going to be overwhelmed and busy.
And a lot of people that have like postpartum anxiety have fears like about their baby. It's like
racing thoughts.
Yeah. You can have like headaches. It can cause like random things, like bowel problems.
Which I was
And this is postpartum
Yeah.
anxiety?
Yes.
Okay, I've never heard of
Did
that.
you have any difficulty like with your sleeping and eating and everything?
Yeah. I wasn't sleeping.
Yeah.
At all because the baby, the baby was on like a 2-hour schedule.
Right.
So do they just prescribe medicine right away? They don't do like therapy or like
So
how does
that was
work?
the thing. There was a 6-week wait.
For therapy?
Yeah, to see a psychiatrist or psychologist.
Prescribe medicine and send
Yeah, and that's what they did. And so, you know, I had hope, like, well, first of all, if we're being honest, I'm like, I'm not fucking taking medicine. I don't want to be on Zoloft.
I also think that's more common than not. It's like,
yeah, like, I'm bigger than this. I can control this.
Right.
So I didn't take it. I did take the Xanax, but it wasn't working. And normally I'm not a pill popper. So I had to take more. And then everything, honestly, it just got really bad. One day I was sitting on the couch and I stood up and I felt like I was going to pass out. And then it was like I was like disassociated from my body.
So that's the anxiety then.
It was like I was having an ongoing panic attack.
But like,
where's the panic? It's not like a frantic. Oh my god! That's
no,
not
it is. In my body,
okay.
I'm like freaking the fuck out. But I have 3 kids to take care of. It's like an inner
experience, you know, like. If you have anxiety, not just like postpartum, but when you have anxiety, you can have inner experiences and not have the effects like on the outside. You know what I mean?
If you looked at me, you wouldn't be able to tell.
Right. I guess that's what I'm asking.
Yeah. I'm like screaming inside, but I'd be like, oh, dinner's ready.
Like I have major anxiety and I feel like you like try to just act like everything's fine, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's what I was doing. But I called my mom and I said, I'm about to pass out. I don't know what's wrong with me. Can you come up here and take care of the kids?
And she said, yeah.
Yeah, she came and she's like, I think you need to sleep. And then, sorry, I'm going to start crying.
I think sleep is, for me, I don't know. Like, I can't, everything spirals out of control without sleep.
I told her, she was the first person I told. And I told her, like, did you ever feel like your baby wasn't yours? Like, I'm not happy. And she's like, I think you just need to get some sleep. So I went upstairs. I fell asleep instantly. I had the most vivid dream of this angel. I wrote about it on my Instagram. And I was like, it was the most realistic dream I've ever had. And there was this guy, this angel. I knew it was an angel. And he's like, you're going to be okay. And then all of a sudden he turned into a star and everything went black. And like the whole sky went black. And then I forgot what he wrote in it. I forgot what he wrote. I wrote about it though on my Instagram. And I woke up and I had no idea where I was. And I was walking around. I was in bra and underwear. I took all my clothes off at my house. My mom was there watching the kids. Right. And I'm running around looking for the baby. I'm like, where the fuck is the baby? And my mom's like, are you okay? And I was like, no, I forgot that you were here. I don't know where I'm at right now. And then after that, she's like, you need to go see someone. So I called the doctor's office and told them what was going on. They're like, sorry, like there's a 6-week wait. Nobody would see me. And then every day it got worse. And I started like hearing voices.
And at this point, were you still on the medicine or you had
I was taking
it?
Xanax.
Okay.
I didn't take the Zoloft.
Okay.
Because I still thought I could fight it. It's weird, like talking about it. Everyone's probably like, why didn't you just do that? Right. But I was like in denial.
Right.
I've never been like that so far in denial before though. Anyway, I started hearing voices. And since I do readings for a living, I literally thought I was possessed. Like, I was hearing voices like, you've had a good life. I walked by, like, pictures in my house, and I would, like, stare at them and just heard a voice like, you had a really good life. And then one day I was in the bath, and something was like, you should just slit your wrist. Yeah. And I knew everyone would be okay. Sorry. I haven't talked about this. I knew everyone would be okay. Except my daughter. I knew that she wouldn't, like, she would turn into a stripper or something. If I would, like, because I just knew that she would be okay. It was weird. But it was like I was in this trance state. Like, I wasn't in control of my body. It was the fucking scariest thing. Like, it was like I was going to do it. And then I, like, had this moment of awareness that I was going to do it. And I fucking threw the razor. And I went downstairs and told my husband everything.
And so at that point, were you able to get help?
No.
What the fuck?
So my husband's like, so I call, they still won't get me in, but I'm on like a emergency wait list. And luckily my OBGYN was the chief of OBGYN, and my husband's like, you have to email him. So I emailed him and I told him everything. And an hour later I got a call. and they were fitting me in for the next day. But that day I had a hair appointment. And this is the other thing. Like, I would be driving my car and something would tell me to crash it. Where I'm, like, looking at every exit, like, can I get off? I'm so scared. Like, I'm going to crash my car. Like, I'm not in control of my body.
Right.
And so I got home that day, and I told my husband, you have to take me to the hospital. I'm not okay. At this point, I'm like, fuck it. Take my kids away. Like, I don't care. Like, I need help.
Yeah.
So I go, and I tell them, which is, like, seriously, like, the worst thing ever. Like, hey, I'm suicidal. I'm just going to wait over here. Like, can you guys get me a doctor? Because I'm, like, normal, and I look normal.
Right.
But I have to tell them that I'm not okay.
Right.
So they put me in a room, and someone is waiting. Like, they had to have someone watch me, which is, like, you know, it was pretty humiliating. And
so were you, like, on a 72-hour, like, cycle?
No.
Is that a thing?
Yeah. And I told my husband, you can't fucking leave me here.
And
like,
he did?
No.
He didn't?
No. They brought a psychiatrist in. And
where were the kids at this point? Do they take your kids or they don't?
No.
Okay, that's good.
I think it's because I was, like, so aware of it and honest that I didn't want to kill myself.
Right.
And so I talked to the doctor, and he made my husband leave, which was kind of nice because it was hard for me to talk to anyone about it. It's still hard for me to talk about it.
Right, of course.
And so I told the doctor everything, and he said, I'm gonna prescribe you Klonopin. Your anxiety is so high that we have to, like, get you
under control,
like, get it lower.
What is a Klonopin exactly?
It's like a long-lasting Xanax.
Oh, I don't know why I thought it was like a pain med.
No.
Okay.
And so I took those, and then he prescribed me Zoloft, and I started taking it. I was gonna if they gave me heroin, I would have taken anything
just to feel okay.
I was so scared. Yeah, and I told him, like, and when I go to the doctors, I don't say what I do for a living because I feel like they already think I'm crazy. But I told him, I'm like, I do readings for a living. I feel like I'm possessed. I'm hearing voices in my head. Like, maybe I'm, like, half possessed and I have postpartum. Like, I don't know what the fuck's going on.
But they knew exactly that it was postpartum.
Yeah, and he described it to me, and it made me feel a lot better because I felt like it was not normal, but, like, other people have gone through this. So then I started doing research, and that helped a lot. Because before, you know, we all hear about postpartum, and I don't know, I didn't really believe in it.
Right.
Hopefully that's not offensive to anyone.
I don't think that I don't believe in it, but I do think that some people don't have it, and they just are lazy.
Yeah.
And they'll be like, oh, I have postpartum. Well, no, you're fine.
Yeah, see, I feel like if I would have had it, I would have been so ashamed that I wouldn't have, like, wanted to tell somebody that.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I feel like I would have been, like, the opposite side of the spectrum for that. But I definitely had postpartum OCD. Like, that's where my OCD started. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I was just being lazy.
No, I've always been, like, OCD and, like, a clean freak. But not until I had Jackson did I develop, it was like postpartum OCD, like immediately after I had him.
Like you wanted everything done a certain way and everything needed to be perfect to like...
It's like a control thing.
Yeah. I felt like I was so in love with Jackson. It was like a love that like I had never experienced, that I thought of all of the things that could like happen to him. You know, it's like, okay, childhood cancer, like all of like the terrible things. And I feel like to cope with that, I overcompensated by doing things like...
That you could control.
That I could control. Like obsessively cleaning.
You also didn't let Will bathe him for how long?
Yeah, Will didn't give him his first bath until he was 6 months old. Yeah.
Wow.
Because I was literally afraid that he would kill him.
Yeah.
I was afraid like, oh my God, what if he like goes and puts him in the bath upstairs and then he accidentally like drowns him or lets like water get in his lungs.
I had those thoughts too. I wouldn't it's so funny that you say that because I couldn't bathe the baby unless somebody was home.
Why? Because you thought that you would hurt him?
I didn't trust myself.
But that's good that you were aware of that, because I think a lot of women that do go through postpartum, what was that woman's, Andrea Yates? Is that it? Susie might know. Yeah, Andrea Yates. She drowned all 5 of her children in the bathtub.
But was it from like
postpartum? Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I think.
You can have postpartum for a while.
Don't know.
Like you could have it for 2 years.
Yeah. So she drowned all 5 of her children in the bathtub, and then she like afterwards like was like, I did that. God. She told on herself.
Yeah.
Yeah. I never understood it before, and now I do. You're just not And it just, the best way I can describe it is you just don't feel like you're in control of your actions.
Okay, you guys, who among us doesn't want to feel happier, more peaceful, and have less anxiety? And what if I told you that meditating using the app Headspace for just a few minutes a day could help provide all of those benefits? Sounds too good to be true, but it is true. Meditation is rooted in tradition, and it's also backed by science. And here's the scoop. In just 10 days of using Headspace, users showed reduced stress, increased happiness, and reduced irritability by 27%. Who doesn't need that?
They have hundreds of sessions for whatever you need, from stress to sleep, including guided exercises to help you with these SOS moments and meltdowns, and mindfulness guides for everyday stresses like commuting, cooking, and everything else life throws at you. We all have so much going on, so much stress, and so much craziness, but Headspace can help you deal with all of that and keep you in the moment and enjoying what is most important in life. So start your journey towards a healthier, happier life by subscribing to Headspace. Sign up now at headspace.com/coffee to get a free month trial. Sign up online at headspace.com/coffee for a free month trial and start meditating today.
What do the doctors say, like, happens that causes postpartum? Obviously, there's, like,
I would think like some type of like chemical reaction.
Yeah.
Like in your
the
brain.
hormones from being pregnant and then not pregnant. And
Well,
then,
what I was told was when I saw my amazing psychiatrist, I love her so much. She told me, if you want to get better, you need to sleep for 2 weeks straight. No working. You need to get a nanny.
they have those nurses, like around-the-clock nurses that can come help with babies.
I wish I would have done that. I think I had such a hard pregnancy and I was depressed and I didn't realize it. And then I had the baby and it was like this whole new person that I had to take care of. And then, like, you know, trying to pay attention to the other kids and then, like, focus. I was so focused on my weight, too, and losing weight.
Yeah, like, I felt like Corrine and I talk all the time, and I felt like she would text me stuff that just seemed off, you know, like not happy to be pregnant. Mm-hmm. And see, I didn't experience any of that, so it was like completely opposite. Like, I loved being pregnant, and I loved like how it changed my body and how amazing it was to like know that my body could do that. Mm-hmm. And I felt like she wasn't experiencing those things. Mm-hmm. And then I felt like she also wasn't excited, like, to be, it was almost like a battle within herself. Like, she knows she's having a baby and she wanted it, but like once she was pregnant and like going through all these changes, it was like oh God, like a fearful that she's going to have him.
So it's almost like foreshadowing the postpartum.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, is that a thing?
From my experience, I feel like that's what happened to me.
Like, you already became depressed or whatever, having anxiety prior to giving birth. Yeah. So then once you gave birth, it kind of was like...
It, like, opened a can of worms.
Right.
Yeah. But I can't imagine, to be perfectly honest, how I would feel if Will would have gotten to hold Jackson first. Because I feel like you put your body through all of this, like, stress and trauma and change. And then you do all of the work to get him here. And then Dad gets to hold him first. I mean, I feel like I would be a little... Bitter.
Oh, yeah. It's that. And then if he would cry, if the baby would cry, Cody would go and take him and he would stop crying.
Cody is your husband?
Yes.
Okay.
So if we're at a restaurant, anywhere, it was like the ongoing joke. I'd just give the baby to Cody. It's like, well, I'm the mom though. And then finally I got used to it. It's kind of nice. Like, okay, he wants you. But yeah, it was really, that part, not holding him right away, was really hard. I feel like that, it was a lot of things. It wasn't just one thing that made me depressed.
But she was like obsessed with, I mean, after the fact of having the baby, and she had, texted me that she had the baby, it was like the things that she was focused on weren't the things that
would be expected.
Yeah, would be expected.
Yeah.
Like, she was more focused on, wow, like, I need to get my body back. I need to get back to work. I need to do, like,
overwhelmed and anxiety of all the things that
I was running from it. And I started working. I only took 2 weeks off. And I love what I do, but looking back, I should have taken 4 months off.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty common, right? Like, maternity leave.
Because even then, it's like this responsibility in my head that I have to be at my office. And then what I do, I feel other people's emotions. So not only am I overwhelmed with my own, I'm like taking on theirs as well. Else's. Yeah. But I didn't want to let people down. And that was, it was
So what do you think helped you make the change going from not really wanting to hold your baby to, because you did make a change, you know, it was like you didn't want to hold him, and then I would get pictures of him and stuff in the bathtub and like you spending time with him.
You said that you did start taking the Zoloft.
Yeah, that helped, and then therapy. And then I feel like I finally accepted the fact that I had postpartum and it was okay to feel this way. I wasn't fighting it anymore.
Right.
And I wasn't ashamed anymore. It was like, well, I didn't bring this upon myself. It just happened. It's something that I need to go through.
Right.
And then I started getting readings. That's the thing. There's a correlation between what I go through in my life and then the people that are drawn to me that I do readings for. And that helped me a lot. Like, oh, this happened. I'm helping so many people.
Right.
Like, people come to me like, my son committed suicide. And then I describe, well, I just want you to know, like, I went through that as well. And, you know, like, you're in this trance-like state and you have so much pain that you feel like you have to end your life.
Right.
And so that helped me more than anything. But now, like, it's crazy, like, talking about it, because now it feels like a different lifetime ago. I don't have any
of those same thoughts.
No, not at all.
That is so crazy.
Yeah. I think it took a good month.
Not that I'm...
No, I get it.
Okay.
You're not calling me
Wow,
crazy,
okay.
but it is fucking crazy.
Like, the fact that you feel like it was a lifetime ago and you're just in a completely different state of mind, right?
Yeah.
So...
It's crazy how quickly things can change.
Yeah.
And honestly, too, when I would go to the doctor, I would lie. So, like, I would go to the baby's appointments and I would have to fill out a questionnaire for myself and I would lie.
Right. Like, nobody's really saying if they're actually having thoughts of hurting themselves or their child.
And then finally, after I realized they weren't going to take my kids away, I was honest. So my husband was so supportive. Like... Good. Got a nanny, my mom. I couldn't even interview nannies. Like, that's how overwhelmed I was.
I mean, I think that that's huge, having a supportive partner during a time like that, because I think a lot of times partners don't know how to support in a real way. And so...
Yeah. I mean, he didn't understand it, but he was trying to.
Right. But some will just be like, oh, you know, suck it up, and they don't really help.
Right.
So that can make all the difference in the world, too, is having someone in your corner.
Oh, he took the baby for like 2 weeks so I could sleep.
That's awesome.
I stopped breastfeeding. I was like, this is not working. I had to pump like 6 times to get 1 bottle.
Yeah.
So I was like, fuck this. I can't do this anymore. That helped. My mom and my sister helped a lot too.
I mean, I can relate, like, in some ways, just because I had such an obsessive personality, but like, I felt like it was in a positive way, you know, versus being like in a negative way. I just wanted to do everything. But I could see where a partner in my situation would be resentful, you know, because I'm doing everything and I'm not allowing it. And it was probably just easier for him, like, not to fight me on it because it's just going to cause a problem.
Right.
But I definitely feel like I went through the struggles, and I have heard other moms talk about it too, of feeling like they neglected their husband, like, during that time. And I did that.
I did too, in a different way. And just recently I've realized it.
Yeah.
And it's always something though, you know, like, I feel like I went through that and I learned so much, and now I'm undoing the behavior still.
Like,
I feel like I pushed a lot of people away. I would not leave my house.
But
my friends wanted to hang out.
Never intentional.
No, everybody has been awesome about it. But like, looking back,
you see
it now. I didn't see it before.
I mean, hindsight is always 20/20.
Yeah.
Always. So you can always kind of, but you're making up for it now and living better now.
Yeah, and the baby is happy.
Are you ready to try on the most comfortable flat that you've ever worn, that you can wear all day, every day, for any occasion? Seriously, you're going to never want to take them off, and they're Rothy's. Rothy's is the everyday flat for life on the go. It's stylish, classic, comfortable, and comes in 4 styles: the flat, the point, the loafer, and the sneaker for women and girls.
I love the sneaker. It's my favorite one, and I have the camo and the all black. So you get to choose the style that you like, that works for you. And the best part is that they're made from recycled plastic, which you think wouldn't be cute, but they actually really are. And you get to throw them in the wash, so if they're dirty, they will literally come out as good as new.
We love our Rothy's, and we know that you will too. Right now, Rothy's has an amazing deal for our listeners. Use code COFFEE at rothys.com to get free shipping with no minimum. Free shipping and free returns and exchanges on your Rothy's shoes, and trust me, you will not want to return them. Go to rothys.com, that's ROTHYS.com, and enter coffee to get your new favorite flats and free shipping. It's a no-brainer. Shoes that are comfortable, stylish, and sustainable, and free shipping. Go get yourself a pair today at rothys.com, promo code coffee. Get this deal while it lasts.
I love our nanny. She's amazing.
You still have her?
I want her to move in with me. She just got a new place, and I told her, like, we have an extra bedroom if you need to stay for, like, 6 months. Free of charge. She's Brazilian, and so she speaks Portuguese to the baby. So the ongoing joke is, like, his first word's going to be in Portuguese. And that's before, awesome. It bothered me, and now I'm like, no, it's okay. Like, he sees her, and he smiles so big, and I feel happy that he has her too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like a third person to love, like in a...
Yeah, so then I can take care of myself, and I can be okay.
I was telling Lindsie about this show that I started watching on Netflix called Workin' Moms, and one of the moms on the show is in that same situation. So her and her husband have a nanny who takes care of the baby, and, you know, there's like a running joke in her office that the baby's first word is going to be with the nanny and not with the mom, but like... same situation, but like she's like, no, like the nanny is good for them, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you should watch it. It would be good for you.
Yeah, I should watch it because
it's funny too, and you can relate. Like they're all kind of going through different things as mothers, like working moms, stay-at-home moms, all that stuff. So you should watch it.
I love her, but it took a good 6 months until I could be alone with the baby.
Okay.
So now I have Fridays off with him. So it's just me and him during the day. Okay. And I was so scared. I kept putting it off and putting it off and putting it off. And then finally I told my mom, like, hey, I'm going to do this. If I call you, I'm going to need you to come up. Yeah. But I was fine, and now it's fine. Good. It's crazy. But I'm so scared to get off the medication.
So do they taper you off, or do you stay on it, or how does that work?
I told my psychiatrist. I've had a lot of other things going on, too, not just this. It's been one thing after, like, huge life-changing events, like, equivalent to, like, people dying.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's been a really hard year. So I told my psychiatrist, I don't want to get off until I have like a normal 5 months. Right. And so she's
And then would they taper it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you'll like ease off of it?
Yeah. But I'm not on anything else. I was taking sleeping meds and Klonopin and not on anything else right now.
So if you had to give like any advice to somebody who might not recognize that they're going through postpartum or somebody that is recognizing that they're going through it, like what advice would you give?
Get help as soon as you can, because it gets progressively worse pretty quickly. Like I felt overwhelmed, but I wasn't hearing voices. And when I say hearing voices, it's just like negative thoughts, like you're a piece of shit or you're a bad mom, like, you know, a bad voice in your head. Get help as soon as you can and be honest about it. And it's more common after going through this. I get so many emails and whatnot because I posted on my Instagram of people that were struggling as well. We just don't talk about it.
Yeah, and I think there's a lot to be said to the partners of people who are going through postpartum too. Is like, if you're recognizing these signs in your partner, like they need to be mindful of the red flags too.
Yeah, looking back, that scares me because if my husband would have said anything, then I would have not recognized it at all. Right. Yeah. So I recommend getting help, and don't feel shameful. You have no control over it. And I was so against being on medication, but it saved my life. Yeah.
So, changing gears a little bit, tell us about, from the last time that you were on the podcast, she gave Lindsie Nicholson a reading while we were podcasting. You've done other readings for Coffee Convos listeners too, right?
And I did one for her over the phone.
Yeah. If you guys don't remember, Lindsie Nicholson was on 16 and Pregnant, and she had the NICU story with her twins.
It's funny because I never really remember what I tell people, but she messaged me and said, you told me that I was going to start my own business, a clothing business, and blah, blah, blah. And
she did.
Yeah, and she did.
And she named it after her daughter, who was one of the NICU twins.
Yeah, yep. I told her some other things too, and I guess it all happened. She was very thankful.
Yeah, she's great.
Yeah, I love her. I've met so many people from doing this podcast because I'll ask people like, how do you find me? Because I'm just interested, and they'll say Coffee Convos. Like so many people. And from doing the podcast, I was very scared about like negative backlash about what I do from like religious people. I think I got 2 emails. I just deleted them. I didn't really even read them. So I just want to say, like, your listeners are amazing.
Yeah, they're really great. We love them.
Most of the people have thought about getting a reading, but they were too scared, number one, or number two, they didn't know like a legit person. And so a lot of people just put their faith and trust in me. But 2 days ago, I did 2 different readings for listeners. One, dude, it was awful. One of them was this woman, and she lost her boyfriend. They have 2 kids together.
Oh, wow.
And it's weird. Every time I do a reading, it's different. Like, they'll use my different gifts. And so I get very intrigued and, like, so amazed when they use the sight gift, because it's kind of like watching a movie in your head. So I'm, like, talking to her, but I see this thing play out. I see this guy, and I know that they're doing, like, a drug deal, or he's, like, selling drugs, something to do with drugs, and then he got shot. And I said the guy was Mexican, but I guess he was Puerto Rican. Anyway, she flipped out because she didn't believe in it, but she was, like, hoping to believe in it.
Right.
And I brought up, oh, my God, he kept just saying, sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, because he had told her that he was not doing it anymore, and he was doing it behind her back. And I knew that, and he communicated that to me, and then he brought up their 3 kids, which was like, oh, like... Oh my God. And so I feel sad. How he feels, where like I left my kids behind.
Right.
And so I'm explaining it to her, and he brought up a whole bunch of signs that he had given her. And she was so sweet, like the sweetest person I've ever met.
Did you meet her in person, or it was like over the phone?
No, she was over the phone. A lot of people are over the phone. I do email readings too. And people are like, how do you do that? Well, it's the same thing. I like look at a picture, and then I start seeing things in my head and feeling things, and I just say it.
Yeah.
But like I was telling you, the other one was this girl. And so I do intuitive readings, which are like, what's going on with my love life or my career? And then I do the mediumship. I like doing the mediumship ones because that's talking to people who've died. But a lot of people will book intuitive, and then their loved ones come through. So now I don't even ask, like, what did you book? I just do it.
You just do it?
Yeah, because 2 days ago the chick had an intuitive reading, and 2 of her friends came through. One died in a car accident. And the other one, I was telling you about it. He had like the best life ever. Scholarship to college, played soccer, and he got on Accutane and was hearing voices and killed himself. And that's the other thing too with the thoughts. I feel like it's hard enough as a woman to admit it, but most of the readings I get that have to do with suicides are men. There hasn't been one female. It's mostly men. And I feel like because they're not okay with talking about their emotions and how they're feeling. So they just dig themselves into a deep hole, and then they end up killing themselves.
Yeah, I guess I haven't really experienced.
I mean, I could definitely see that.
Yeah.
For sure. Because I feel like I've talked about on the podcast so many times how Will is like the worst communicator, but also not only the worst communicator about plans, but the worst communicator about feelings. And it's like... Sometimes if we ever get into like a scuffle or like an argument, whatever, it'll be like something that he brings up that was like from so long ago. And it's like, why are you just now bringing that up?
Right.
So I get it.
Because he holds it in.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of men do that. My husband does that too.
Unfortunately.
And I'm just kind of like, I forgot that even happened.
And
you know
it's been bothering and eating him
alive.
Yeah. Yep.
And I'm like, how did that... I forgot that even happened. Like, I let it go after it happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Hopefully our society changes a little bit so men feel more comfortable. Because I feel like a lot of the readings that I have done, they feel so overwhelmed and they feel like there's no other way out. But from an outside perspective, it's like, well, yeah, like you were having financial issues and you got caught cheating on your wife, but it's still fixable. Right. You know, it's just a really bad patch, but you're going to learn and grow so much from it.
Well, and I think, too... men probably like, I don't know, this is just what I think, but I think men feel like if they talk about their feelings, then it's not masculine.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, so it's not manly to cry, or it's not manly to say that you hurt my feelings. You got the best of me.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I love? I love to smell good, but who doesn't? And I love that Scentbird lets you try a perfume and cologne so you get a little variety and not be stuck in a smell rut.
Scentbird is a perfume and cologne subscription service that sends you a 30-day supply of new scents each month. So you get 120 sprays of whatever scent that you pick to see if you like it. No more wasting money on big bottles that you end up hating a month later. And we all know about that.
So they have men and women fragrances, including 450 brands like Prada, Gucci, Tom Ford, and really anything that you've ever wanted to try. So if you don't know what you're in the mood for, you can search based on an occasion, a season, or a style.
Right now, I'm really loving Gucci Guilty, and I have always been a super fan of Juicy Couture perfumes. Viva La Juicy is one of my favorites, and I love to travel with it. It's very easy. I just put it in my purse, put it in my suitcase, and go. It's awesome. They have a quiz that they'll make suggestions on new scents that might be good for you as well.
And with an exclusive offer just for our listeners, you can get 50% off your first month today. That's only $7.50 for your first fragrance. Just go to scentbird.com/combos and use our code COMBOS. For 50% off your first month, again, that's SCENT bird.com/combos for you to try your first perfume or cologne for just $7.50. Sign on and smell good.
What do you feel like is, just like we talk about marriage all the time, what do you feel like is the biggest struggle in your marriage? And what do you think the biggest struggle is just for people in general in marriages?
Communication, both.
Yeah.
Because I do a lot of readings for couples, and if they would have started communicating, they would have started getting along a long time ago. But it affects your sex life because you start getting having resentment towards your partner. And, I feel like the biggest thing is communication. With my marriage, though, I struggle because I'm really intuitive. So I don't know. I mean, now I know. I guess I struggle to know if I'm picking up on something or I'm being a girl.
Right. Yeah, I can see.
I don't know. I feel like, I just turned 27. If I was to get into a relationship and everyone keeps like preaching communication, like I already am how I am. Like how the hell else I'm communicating the way I communicate for 27 years.
So you feel like at 27 you're set in your ways?
Yes.
Well, I'm 35 and I've realized that I have a lot of growth, change. I don't know, but
do you get what I'm saying, though?
I totally do, because I had that perspective. Like, it's my way or the highway. Not in a negative way, but, like, I shouldn't have to change. But at some point when you're in a long-term relationship, you'll start to see how that behavior is detrimental to the relationship.
But I don't feel like you can change. Like, you just are who you are.
No. You can change.
Okay.
I'm working on it right now.
Maybe you just didn't find the person to change you.
Yeah.
But then...
Well, I definitely think that I've communicated different in different relationships based on
the
who
person
I'm with. Right. But if I don't know how I'm trying to...
It's kind of like the love language, though. Like, you need to know, like, their love language, and you also have to know how to... I was telling Lindsie this last night. I'm learning how to communicate to my husband so he understands it. Like, there's a way...
But I think it should be from the get-go. Like, I guess that's what I'm trying to say. So, like...
But men don't think like us.
No, and I think relationships change, too. Like, I feel like as you get older... I mean, in my situation, I've been with Will for 10 years. So, like, my communication... The way I communicated at 19... When I had jack shit going on... could be a completely different way than I communicate
now
today. Because, you know... I constantly complain about Will not communicating, but at the same time, if I'm busy, I might not communicate all day. Mm-hmm. And it's like, well, what were you doing that you couldn't communicate? And it's like, well, I was living life, working, raising child, you know, just doing the things.
I was living life.
I might not have had time to like shoot you I just love you so much. I want to jump your bones when you get home text, you know, like I just might not have had time for it.
But you know now from all the fights that pisses him off. And so you will go out of your way like, oh, I haven't talked to him.
Like, for example, the last time you and I traveled together, I got the cold shoulder. Like I got the cold shoulder for probably like solid a week.
Why?
Because I was not communicating. But it wasn't on purpose because I felt like I was working like... I had a lot of excuses that I felt like were valid. I was working against like a 3-hour time change.
Right. We were busy.
I was like actually working. I was doing things, you know, but I guess he didn't like that. Well, this time that we traveled, I made sure that I quote unquote checked in so I didn't get the cold shoulder when I got home. You know what I mean? I might have sex when I get home instead of
you will when you love someone enough.
You guys are exhausting me, and I remember what that was like when I was married, and I'm not ready to go back to that right now. Like, I'm not ready to deal with someone else wanting me to communicate when I just
like
can't communicate.
You don't want to be held responsible for those types of
But I feel like it's like it becomes second nature. So it's not.
No, it's not second nature.
With the right person. But I feel like it's right, and that's how I felt. Like, I don't have time. Like,
I don't feel that way.
You don't feel like it's a chore? No.
I mean, sometimes it is, but if
talking to him's not a chore. The chore is doing things someone else's way. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I'm doing things my way, then that's just like me.
I can't.
But like,
I don't feel that way.
But thinking about having to do it somebody else's way, I'm like, man, this feels like a to-do list. You know what I mean?
I understand. I don't feel that way.
So like, how do you feel, Kareen?
I feel like I will do what would make him happy because
Kim Kardashian,
she must be single forever.
She must be going back from her photo shoot from Dubai.
She's doing another naked selfie book.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
No.
Oh. We're just making all this shit up.
Like, how many can you have?
Right. Fan fiction. What?
Let's put that in the podcast anyway. Let's just start a room.
Right. At least they'll listen to Coffee Combos.
So what were you saying?
Wait, what was I saying? What were we talking about?
You said you'll do anything to make him happy.
Oh, not anything to make him happy. But
okay.
I will do what makes him happy because he does what makes me happy. And it makes me happy to make him happy.
Okay.
But Will and I are tit for tat, you know what I mean? It's like, well, he didn't communicate last week that he had a work dinner after work. So I'm like,
guess what I'm not going to do when I'm in LA? I'm not going to communicate.
Yeah. But I still did anyway.
See, I used to do that, but now it's not worth it to me. Like, it's not worth the fighting.
Yeah.
I don't have the energy to communicate in the first place.
So what are you doing?
So I'm single. This is why I'm single. Nobody wants to put up with my bullshit. Mm-hmm. And you know what?
Including me.
It's completely fine. Including me.
I feel like you're a lot more easygoing than you may think. Or
no, I'm very easygoing.
Yeah.
But I am easily irritated also.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
We were talking about that yesterday.
Kail gets so irritated, like, about the dumbest things, like, but it might not be dumb to her, so, like, that might be offensive.
dumb to me, but I can't help it.
But, like, if Kail orders, like, coffee or something, and if, like, Uber Eats didn't get here when they said that they were going to get here, Kail would be like, whatever, I'm just not eating today. And I'm like, that's so dramatic. Like, who even says, like, whatever, I'm not even eating today? They probably got stopped at the damn red light. Like, why is this such a big deal? Think about other things that you get irritated about.
But I think it's, it might be the Accutane.
No. This has been going on way longer than the Accutane.
I don't know.
Yeah, no. You're an irritable person. Yeah,
but remember we were talking about that yesterday? I feel like it's anxiety.
Mm-hmm. No, I think it's more like little things that I get irritated about. And I'm like, ugh, and then I just get over it. It's not like long-term irritation.
Oh, yeah, no. It's like a quick, like...
oh, I'm annoyed, and then you just move on. Like, that's annoying, and then move on.
But do you move on? Or do you hold
on
to it?
Yeah. Like, something irritated me yesterday. I was like, oh, that's so annoying. And then I moved on.
It was probably something I did.
No,
and then she
I don't
was just
think
like,
it was you.
Maybe it was the pizza I left out, or all the Oreos that I stole.
It was probably, I think it was the wings.
Yes, I think it might have been the wings. Like, these are disgusting. Like, I'm annoyed because I wanted wings.
But
like,
they were not good, or to, like, Kail's standard or whatever. They were actually very good.
They were disgusting. But
so
I think
I ate all the flats. I was actually glad that she didn't like them, because then I was like, more flats for me. But she was irritated, and it was like...
But I got over it quickly. I didn't bitch about it for a long time.
No, but it's just like Kail's going to let people know that she wants to let people know she's irritated, and then, like, once everybody's aware,
then it's fine.
She's like, okay, it's fine. Yeah, once everybody's aware and also scared, then it's fine. Everything's fine. So tell us just what you've got planned coming up.
I have nothing planned coming up, and it kind of feels good. Well, me and my husband have a couple of vacations.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So where are you going?
To Wisconsin. His family's there. They have really huge indoor water parks.
Yeah, I just went to one for the first time.
It's so
In
cool.
Wisconsin?
It's at a hotel.
No, not in Wisconsin.
That's what I thought too, though.
No, I went to. I took the kids for Christmas break. We went and spent 2 or 3 nights at. It's called Kalahari.
Oh.
It's an indoor water park. Definitely don't spend more than 2 nights because you just do the same shit for the third day.
That's
and
so
you're like,
funny
God,
you say that.
Die.
My husband wants to go for 5.
Oh my
No.
God.
2 nights was plenty. The kids didn't want to leave, but I was like, we're ready to go.
We're ready to go.
But it was a good time.
Water parks freak me out.
Yeah, I was very disgusted. I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. I was like, the kids are going to love it.
You know what
but
I think?
was like cringing the whole time. Like, ugh.
You know what I think about water parks? I always think there's like, you're going to get fungus on your feet. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like the water, the lines.
I don't know what's floating in it, whose hair is in it.
Whose hair's been in there.
It's like one, you got to go experience it and then maybe never do it again.
I worked at a water park in high school, and so I know more than you. It's fucking disgusting.
Yeah. So, like, tell us what we...
Oh, like people shit in the water. There's, like, tampons in the water.
Okay, no.
Yeah.
That's not even a thing.
I swear
Nobody
to God.
put a tampon in the water. Like a used one?
Yeah. Like, I don't know if she had, like, a loose vagina, and it fell out or what.
And it fell out?
I'm dirty diapers in the water.
Like, how do you just fling down a slide and your tampon flicks out?
Because there's this one slide that goes straight down and your bottom.
Get wedgie.
Yeah, I feel like
severe wedgie. Definitely don't uncross your legs.
Front wedgie too.
I always feel like I'm going to get like an eye infection when I go to a water park because I'm like, you know how the water like flings in your eye whenever you go down, and
then all the kids peeing in it.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, I definitely got an eye infection. I need to go ahead and make a doctor's appointment in advance.
Yeah, like you're going to the water park on this weekend, so by Monday you should make it to.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, I should start taking antibiotics before you go.
Exactly.
Sick.
Yeah,
that's so nasty.
I feel like every kid wants to go to the water park. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like I want to go ride the slides and do the dangerous things. You know?
Oh, my kids had the choice between snow tubing and water park.
And they picked water park.
Oh yeah,
I would pick water park too.
I would pick snow tubing.
Just for the germ factor, next time they're not getting an option.
Yeah. So. the water park was canceled. It was closed.
They closed
a long
down
time
for
ago.
Contamination.
Do you lie to your kids?
Not anymore.
Because I was just talking about lying about the water park being closed. So I was like, do you lie to your kids?
No, my daughter is very intuitive. She has the same gift as me. I can't lie to her.
I definitely told my kids that the pork was chicken. So.
Oh, I've done that too. But this is a
Definitely.
new thing.
But wait, do you lie to your kids like more than about chicken and pork?
My kids asked me where babies came from pretty recently.
And
I said
you avoided, so that's technically not a lie.
Technically, it's a lie.
See, mine asked me and I
Omission
told
from
them.
the truth.
What else? I told my kids that my mom's sick.
Oh, wow.
I mean, I guess that's
true,
kind of
though.
true. We don't do Santa, so we don't really lie about that.
That's not a lie.
By the way, I just recently, my daughter asked about it and I told her the truth. And she's like, why'd you guys do that? Why do you lie to us? And I didn't have an answer. Why do we do that? It's so fucked up.
Because it's to teach your kids something to believe in. Yeah.
But then,
Do you lie to your kid?
I mean,
The dolphins.
yeah, whenever we went to Mexico, I lied about the dolphins being sick. Trying to think what else I would lie about. Oh yeah, sometimes I'll be like, McDonald's closed. So that's a lie. Sometimes I'll be like, no, I don't really lie about other stuff.
I'm trying to think of a real lie that I've told my children, and I was trying
to think of one that would be big and
impactful, same.
You know?
And I'm like, I just
But
can't.
I've never done that. No, I sell them the truth. Mostly. I think Will lies to Jackson a lot.
I don't think I've been in a situation to lie to them. I don't think
I've ever felt like I've had to lie, other than the fact that I just didn't want to go to McDonald's. So I was like, oh, they're closed for construction.
I mean, that's...
But where did I even come up with that? You know what I mean? Who just drives by and it's like...
Well, actually, I did lie to my kids pretty recently. So we have game night once a month with all our friends, and sometimes they're with kids and sometimes they won't, but it's the same group of people. I told them before we went, I gave them a whole spiel because they've never been to this person in our group's house. So I was like, these are the rules. If you misbehave, we're leaving. Mm-hmm. So We get there. What do? They misbehave. I gave them not 1, but 2 strikes. So now
2 strikes.
I had forgot the board games at the house anyway. So I was like, we're going home. But really, I was just going to go pick up the board games. So I was like, we're going home, get in the car, we're leaving.
I've definitely done that before.
And so we get in the house, and we're literally walking into the door, and they're like, but Mom, we're so sorry. Like, we won't do it again. Like, I promise. And Isaac's blaming Lincoln. Lincoln's blaming Isaac. And then Lincoln disappears, and I'm like, Lincoln, where'd you go? He's like, I'm getting in the shower. And I'm like, no. Like, we got to go. Like, we're going back. You know what I mean?
Kidding.
So I lied, but
why couldn't
with a lesson.
But why couldn't you have been like, you guys, on the way home, you should have, like, lied real quick and then, like, kind of taken a long time to get home, circle the block, you know, and then been like, let them have enough time to apologize. And, like, after they apologized 3 times, you should have been like, you know what? I'm really thankful for your apology. And because you apologized and were so kind about it, this better never happen again.
Oh, they were on their best behavior when we got back.
Yeah, because they were scared.
Because I forgot the board game, so I had to go home anyway. So now you're coming with me, and you think we're going home. But then I'm like, that just completely, they're going to just disbehave. What is the word?
Misbehave?
Misbehave.
I mean, side note real quick, how the fuck did you forget the board games on game night?
I know.
Because it's Kail.
Well, we had like the
Kail forgets Kail when she goes somewhere. She'll be late to her own funeral. Like,
Oh, for sure. But they were so good when we got back.
Well,
so good.
That's amazing.
But that was a lie.
If anybody is listening, which I hope you are, if you lie to your kids, please send us a message and let us know like what your biggest lie to your kids has been, because I'm interested, because I want to know like if I've maybe done it too and just don't remember that I did it. You know?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
It was so good to see you.
So thankful for your friendship and so glad that you are well.
Me too. I'm thankful for your friendship too. It's crazy. We met on Instagram, Kail and I, and then me and Lindsie, ever since we had a phone call, I did a reading for you, and we've been like best friends ever since.
Yeah. Just like it works, you know?
Yeah. You just click.
Some people you're just like,
we've been through so much shit together in such a short amount of time. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But anyway, my hope is that this helps a couple people understand postpartum or depression in general.
Right, yeah.
So hopefully it helps. Sorry I cried.
Oh, that's fine.
Well, tell our listeners where they can find you if they haven't already found you.
On Instagram, my name is Psychic Medium Kareen, spelled Kareen. And same thing on Facebook. And my email is messagesbykareen@gmail.com. And my website, if you want a reading, you can go to my website. It's messagesbykareen.com.
Perfect. All right, guys, I think that's all we have time for today. If you have not subscribed to us, you can do so by searching the Purple Podcast app on your iPhone, type in Coffee Combos, click subscribe, click the 5th star, and leave us a written review. We hope you guys have a great week, and we'll talk to you soon.
See ya.
This podcast is brought to you by Wave Podcast Network. Check out all of our shows, including the Brain Candy Podcast, I Don't Get It, Coffee Convos, and Let's Talk About It.